And good evening. This is Bob W6CGX, and I'll be your net control operator for tonight's Papa Great Outdoor Net. This net meets every Sunday evening at 8 p.m. Pacific. This is a directed net, so please go through net control at all times, and your cooperation is always greatly appreciated. Stations with emergency or priority traffic can come into the net at any time, and net control will respond appropriately. The Papa system is an open membership supported system in the Southern California area with coverage from the Mexican border to Paso Robles and from the Channel Islands to Las Vegas, Nevada. If you're a visitor to the Papa system tonight, I invite you to go to papasys.com. That's PAPASYS.com and register as a guest. With your guest registration, you'll have 45 days of free access to the Papa system. At the end of your one-time 45-day guest access period, we'd love for you to become a subscribed member, continue to use the Papa system on a daily basis, and be part of the Papa system family. However, all amateurs are welcome to participate in the daily, weekly, and monthly Papa system nets regardless of their membership status. Again, this is the Papa system, Great Outdoor Net. Well, howdy do, everybody. Happy Sunday. Happy pre-Super Bowl Sunday. Might be happier for some than others. I won't say too much. Neither one of my teams won, but that's football. That's what you're going to expect. But, we'll root for somebody 2 weeks from now. Let's see, what else we got tonight? I guess the weather's looking good, so we're all good there. I'm going to go ahead and play the announcements. Let me do a little pre-announcement for the announcements. As we have, we do have the Yuma Ham Fest coming up, and we're looking for some volunteers to just help out for a couple hours. We have a set of volunteers that are going to man the booths and the tables, but it would be nice to have a few extras that we can have maybe at the door, passing out maybe a Papa brochure, just greeting people and saying hello. So you'll get the full, Walmart greeter salary package, which is I don't know what, but it would be fun. So there will be a sign up thing going around on the Papa website at some point. So look for that if you are interested. And let's jump into this 15-minute announcement. They keep getting longer. I'm trying to cut things, but we'll get there. Be patient. Stand by.
Here are the Papa System weekly announcements for the week of February 9th. Denny's Thousand Palms Luncheon. Papa will be meeting in person on Saturday, January 31st, at 11 a.m. at a new location, the Denny's Thousand Palms. Everyone is encouraged to come out to our new location for a chance to meet and visit with your on-air friends. Denny's Thousand Palms is located at 72244 Varner Road, Thousand Palms, California. Please RSVP for the luncheon. Ham license testing at 9:30 a.m. Register in advance for testing on the Papa website. No walk-ins, please. Papa members are invited to an online presentation on RT Systems radio programming software on February 7th at 10 a.m. Pacific Time. RT Systems offers user-friendly programming software for amateur radios. If you can think of a ham radio, they probably have a module for that. Karen, KD4DXX, will be our host for this Zoom presentation. See the Papa website and email for the link to this meeting, and mark your calendar for February 7th, 10 a.m. Pacific Time. The Papa Inland Empire Breakfast. Papa will be meeting in person on February 14th, at 9 a.m. at the Mill Creek Cattle Company. So bring your favorite sweetheart for a great Valentine's breakfast, and happy Valentine's Day to all. We will be offering ham license testing at 8 a.m. for technician, general and amateur extra class licenses. Please RSVP for breakfast attendance and for ham license testing at 8 a.m. The Papa Valley Breakfast. Papa will also be meeting in person on Saturday, February 14th, at 7:30 a.m. at Lulu's Restaurant in Van Nuys. Everyone is welcome, so come on out for a chance to meet and visit with your ham radio friends that you talk with on the air. We will be offering ham license testing at 7 a.m. for technician, general and amateur extra class licenses. Please RSVP for breakfast attendance and for ham license testing at 7 a.m. Quick Start Program. The Papa Quick Start program, in conjunction with all of our test sessions, is a benefit for newly licensed technician class ham radio operators. The program is designed to get newly licensed technicians on the air quickly and teach them how to communicate with fellow hams on the radio. You will receive a pre-programmed UHF handheld radio at no cost to you. The Papa system will assist with technical and operational issues and help you make your first radio contact. You are encouraged to check into the new Hamsnet Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. with Steve, KI6LOV. Please let him know if you are part of the Quick Start program and join in with fellow new amateur radio operators. More information is available on the Papa website and at all of the test sessions. The USS Midway Museum radio team, NI6IW, will be on the air on Saturday, February 14th, from 0900 to 1600 Pacific Time. They will be celebrating the raising of the flag on Iwo Jima. Check the Papa website for all of the modes and frequencies. Yuma Ham Fest 2026. The Yuma Ham Fest is back this year on February 27th to 28th. Papa will be in attendance at booths 81, 82 and 83, so make sure to come on by and pay us a visit. This year, the Papa system is asking members to donate their no longer needed ham radio equipment for resale at Yuma. Proceeds will be used to update equipment at the Papa repeater sites. If you would like to donate your equipment, you can also bring it to your local breakfast or luncheon before the Hamfest. Papa Annual Dinner, 7 p.m. Friday, February 27th. Please join us at Du Bois Italian Restaurant at 284 South Main Street, Yuma, Arizona. Seating is limited to 20 people, so please RSVP early for the Friday night Papa dinner on the Papa website. For more Hamfest information, please visit the Yuma Hamfest website at www.yumahamfest.com. All this information and a whole lot more can be found on the Papa website at papasys.com.
Wow. That's a lot. I'm going to have to go through that and trim it up a little bit. It's a lot, but we do have a lot going on. So don't forget, we've got the RT Systems Zoom session, which would be fun in the beginning of the month there. And then, of course, we have that Thousand Palms luncheon that's going to be happening. A new location. Sounds like the same location, but it's a different location. So make sure you look up the address and know where you're going. But that sounds like a lot of fun, too. And that'll be at the end of the month there. All right, before we go any further, let's see if we have any other announcements. Announcements only for the net at this time. Please come now. The pipes are calling me. I didn't hear anyone, so I guess it's just the pipes. We have noisy pipes for a newerish home. Well, good evening again, once again. I can only say it 3 or 4 times, maybe. Let's see. But we've, looks like we've done pretty well through this week, and I think we'll make it another week coming up. So we'll see. At least we do have nicer weather than they having back east, and we all take our shots when we can, right? They hit us once in a while. Well, before we get started with taking any check-ins and things, let's see if we can contact our trail consultant, Steve, KI6LOV, see if he has any words of wisdom from the trail tonight. Steve, if you're there, take it.
Well, good evening, Bob, and everyone out here on the Great Outdoor Net. This is Steve, KI6LOV, and I just kind of have a little short statistical report for you this evening. Most of you know that I've had my wilderness cabin in the Angeles Forest for right around 50 years. And so I just sat down and did a little quick math. All right, so according to my logbook records, I average just about 2 visits per month over the entire history of hiking out there. So 2 visits per month times 12 months, okay, is 24 visits a year. Some years are more than that, some are a little less. Times 50 years is 1,200 visits to the cabin. Now, many of those were day hikes, but most of them are overnight. And then, here's the astonishing part to me. When I multiply that by a 6-mile round trip, that is 7,200 miles. basically on the upper Winter Creek Trail. That's not including other hikes I used to take back in the day when I was actually out in the canyon. So I guess it's no surprise that I know that trail like the back of my hand. And as Bob and I were talking the other day, that really is my turf out there. So anyway, Bob, that's all from me for now. I think that might be kind of a good lead-in to tonight's net. With that, I'll say 7-3 all, and go out and get your boots dirty. This is KI6LOV 7-3.
I like it. That's great. That's good, Steve. Really good. That's a lot of miles. So how often do you have to change the tread on your boots? Or change the boots, I guess. That's awesome. Wow. Sometimes it's scary, though, when you start calculating things. You're like, oh my gosh, like that much, that many times. But thank you, as always, for your report, your support, and your report. Yeah, we have a good little team here. So we get things out to the masses. And, well, tonight, as Steve kind of alluded to, had something to do with trails, as you can tell. Happy trails to me, or how's that song go? We're going to talk about trail maintenance and repair. Now, it's a very vital part of trails and trail systems. There's a lot of them on this land, all across the country and across the world. But they don't just, fix themselves from erosion, from fires, I suppose, too, overgrown brush, all that kind of stuff. So imagine if you're a semi-avid hiker, you've probably run across a few trail crews out there. And, we should all thank them because they're mostly volunteers. And they'd probably just rather be hiking too, just like you. But I know they love to help out. So if you have ever helped out on a trail crew or, maybe saw one during hiking, let us know about that. And anything goes for the net tonight. We don't have to stick on that topic. If you had something good happen this weekend, because it was another beautiful weekend, let us know what you did. And you can always come in and say hello. So before we go to checking check-ins, let's visit with, who we have tonight on tap tonight? Derek. I think Derek's on tonight. So let's see what Derek has for us, and we'll check in with our Papa system. Which button is he? There he is. Shh.
Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
Oh boy, there you go. The trail. Let's see. What is the name? The Pacific. No, it's the Papa System Great Outdoor Net Learning Center. Wow, that's a mouthful.
Good evening to everyone on the Great Outdoor Net tonight. This is Derek from the Papa System Outdoor Research Center. Trail maintenance is the systematic process of keeping pathways safe, functional, and environmentally sustainable for public use. It involves a variety of physical tasks, ranging from routine vegetation clearing to complex engineering repairs aimed at preventing erosion and protecting natural resources. Core maintenance tasks. Modern Trail Care in 2026 continues to prioritize water management and corridor clearance to ensure long-term durability. Brush removal and clearing. Cutting back overhanging branches and encroaching plants to maintain the designed trail width and height, often referred to as the trail corridor. Drainage management. Creating or cleaning structures like water bars, nicks, and grade reversals to direct water off the trail, which is the primary defense against erosion. Tread repair. Reworking the walking surface by removing organic debris, filling in entrenched sections where soil has worn away, and restoring the footpath so water doesn't pool. Logging out. Removing fallen trees that block the trail using handsaws or certified chainsaw operation. Blazing and signage. Ensuring trails are clearly marked with paint or physical signs to guide users and prevent them from wandering into sensitive habitats. Workforce and stewardship. Trail maintenance is largely powered by a blend of professional crews and dedicated volunteers. Volunteer organizations. Groups like the Appalachian Trail Conservancy and the Pacific Crest Trail Association organize thousands of volunteers to maintain long-distance routes. Grants and funding. Recent 2026 initiatives, such as the Onyx Off-Road Trail Revival, provide financial support to local clubs for equipment and training. Agency oversight. While the U.S. Forest Service and National Park Service set the national standards, many daily operations are delegated to state and local partners. This has been just a quick look at what it takes to maintain our local trails, so we can enjoy them in the great outdoors. Back to Bob, net control for the weekly Papa System Great Outdoor Net.
Well, thank you, Derek. Great job as always. Did some great research there for us from the Papa System Great Outdoor Research Center. I said Learning Center. Well, we're trying to switch everything over. It takes some time. But yeah, definitely we'd like to thank all the trail volunteers out there that, some of them are Boy Scouts, maybe even some Cub Scouts that get out there. I know the Eagle Scout program actually rebuilt and put in all new picnic tables in La Jolla. This is a few years ago when we had that fire that came through and just wiped one of my favorite places to hike and camp, trail camp. But they ended up coming in and repairing and replacing everything with new food boxes, bear boxes, if you want to call them that. Food storage. All right, well, let's see who is out there tonight. We'll take a few check-ins, see what's going on. Like I said, let us know if you did anything fun this weekend, if you've ever encountered a trail crew or know of one or somebody that did that, whatever information you have. And if you just want to come by and just say, hey, I'm out here. How are you? We'll take that too. W6EJX Net Control for the Papa System Sunday night. Great Outdoor Net. All right, please come down.
November 6 Alpha LQJ, Jeff in Burbank.
Pile up in the first turn, KD6 LLB.
November 6 Alpha Quebec.
Kilo Juliet 6 Golf Echo Uniform.
November 6 Hotel Alpha Lima.
Kilo Oscar 6 Lima Romeo Alpha. Bill.
K6DV in and out.
Foxtrot Golf Whiskey in and out.
Alpha Bravo 6 Mike Bravo. Jeff.
Kilo Juliet 6 Golf Echo Uniform, Bob, Mobile, Papa 3, in case you didn't catch me the first time.
I did indeed. Okay, I got most everybody. Not too bad. But I may want to ask a few. And I think the first one would be Jeff. And you're about the third one checking in. And I got your call sign in my log somewhere, but I just thought maybe I'd ask you real quick. So go ahead, Jeff, from Burbank, I believe.
Yeah, hey, this is Jeff, KO6LQJ in Burbank. And wanted to mention, you mentioned the scouts. A lot of these scouts, I'll say scouts, not guys anymore, because the girls are involved now too, which is really cool. But they've got to go ahead and lay out their plan and carry it out and lead a team to do these projects, and a lot of them have to do with trail maintenance. So they're always looking for something like that, and would love to get plugged in on that type of thing. So back to net control. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Jeff. That was some great information for sure. Yeah, well, someone that's actually worked with the people that do things like that, it's so wonderful. And it's a great thing to give back. And I always felt that way when I was hiking a lot. I would say, somebody's taking care of this trail because that was overgrown and that had a big hole right there. They put a rock in it and stamped it down. And so you kind of tell someone had been working on it, because most people go hiking. They're not going to go working on the trail. They want to go hiking, right? All right, Jeff, thank you so much. Let's go to Adrian, KK6HNG. Welcome, Adrian.
Hey, good evening, Bob, and everybody on the net. This is Adrian, KK6HNG. Let's say, interesting things to do. Okay, not this week. This week was a simple walk, 4 miles in Palos Verdes. Nice, but not big deal. Last week I did something nice, however. A nice 15 miles loop. Part of it being PCT, part of it a parallel trail with very nice views to the Three Sisters, that's a rock formation, and to Vasquez Rocks in a distance. And yes, the navigation system worked wonders, because otherwise it would have been very hard to get everything in time. It was an intersections of trails and maintenance road for the electric lines and whatnot. So that worked. As for trail maintenance, talk about PCT, but talk about Mount Wilson as well area. Over there, a crew or several crews, part of it U.S. Forest, part of it volunteer, did an absolutely astonishing job on those trails. It's not just the one that Steve hikes on. Pretty much all the others I've been, they are in better shape than I've ever seen them, and I know those trails for about 20 years. So I know some of those volunteers, a few that is, most of them I don't. But then there is another thing. If you guys saw the Sierra trails and some in the Yosemite National Park, boy, those are built with steps and stone and whatever, like they are made to last 200 years. I can only imagine how much work must have been put into those. KK6HNG, back to net.
Yeah, like sometimes you see these big rock walls that are just on the side of a trail. It's a trail. They've got these rock walls that someone built, whether they be secured in concrete or not. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. There's you do know when you're out hiking, and especially like you said, familiar with the trail, that if someone's been down there working on it, because it's like been cut away into the hill a little bit more. It's widened out. It's been stamped down a little bit, so you can kind of feel that. And but sounds like everything's being kept up pretty well. I know that trail out to Steve's cabin at one time was impassable, right? So they had to come in and do quite a bit of work, and we didn't know if they were gonna ever get to do it or not, but they did. So they did some wonderful work. Thank you, Adrian. And let's say hello to Dale in 6AQQ. Welcome, Dale.
Good evening. This is Dale in 6AQQ. As far as I ran into a trail maintenance crew in the Palm Canyons out in Palm Springs hiking. And then as far as helping out with trails, when I had our ranch in the Cleveland National Forest after the fire in 1993, we helped rebuild the trails. Anyway, N6AQQ, back to that. Thanks for doing it.
Yeah, well, they're definitely unsung heroes there of keeping everything maintained. And I think a lot of people probably think, well, it's park rangers, and whether it be federal or state park rangers, well, they do. They take care of things and kind of clean up. And of course, they've been kind of, being missing too. I guess it's hard to find a ranger anymore. But what a job, though. I was going to do a net on rangers one night, just throw it out there to see if anybody would ever have liked to have been a ranger or if they were a ranger too. All right. Well, thank you so much, Dale. And let's say hello to Logan, KD6 LLB. Have you been on any of these crews to help out with the trail or something, some frontage roads or something like that? Go ahead, Logan, take it.
No, I can't say that I've actually been on a crew. I did do sort of a forced labor summer camp in Boy Scouts in Texas, but that's a different story. But we built a lot of stuff, or we didn't eat. Anyway, I'm working through that. All kidding aside, this is Logan, KD6 LLB, coming in on All-Star. And yeah, Adrian mentioned and you also, Bob mentioned you might be hiking in the high Sierras and see just a staggering amount of carved steps and just a lot of work that goes into it. And I have on a couple of occasions seen rangers out there working in, well above tree line. And a couple of times I've tried to pitch in, and I don't think I've made it 30 minutes at 12 and a half, 13,000 feet, using a heavy steel bar to try and break rock is hard work. And those guys will spend, I don't know how much time at it, but I've never lasted more than 30 minutes. I've tried to pitch in, but it's hard. So yes, I certainly appreciate the people who make the trails, and especially the ones that make it difficult to reach places a little more reachable, accessible, or clear trails like Steve's. And so in my case, I grew up outside of Austin and focused on the creeks. And my specialty has always been stream crossings. So I have for as long as I've been here. First place I backpacked in California was across the Sespe on the Sespe River Trail. And I'll go out there maybe in a few weeks even. And if it looks like I can help improve the crossing, I will spend a couple of hours sometimes just moving rocks around, which can be very awkward work when the stream is really, kind of marginal. So you end up just in the creek. Water's not warm, but if you put in the right design, you can make it easier for people to get across without ending up in the water or breaking a hip or something. So hopefully that's a contribution. And what Steve has done, really being 50 years, having a cabin, using that same trail, I kind of feel like I understand that because I get attached to trails, but I can't say that I've been attached to one that lasted 50 years. But I made a list, and Leo Carrillo, I used to go there and either surf or hike, and I've been up to Nicholas Flats I don't know how many times, but that was just my favorite place for years. And a bunch of others, Piedra Blanca up to the Gene Marshall Trail, which is a really pretty rugged. It turns into canyon crawling and climbing up a creek. Arroyo Verde Park, I used to go there when I lived in Oxnard, and 3 times a week or more just to kind of hike and run. They have some steep trails, and it's just a park, but it's good exercise. And the whole network, like Pratt Trails above Ojai, I was pretty dedicated to those for years and years. And just recently, I started mountain biking using an electric mountain bike most of the time. I get further on the electric. I use the pedal bike, but I don't get very far. So I have 2 bikes, and the e-bike will get me all the way to Buzzard's Roost up Zuma Ridge Fire Road or Motorway, whatever it's called. And I have been hiking and biking on that trail for over 30 years. It's not anything that I would send a visitor from Europe to see as, something representative of, the wilderness in the States, but I'm especially fond of it. And I'm also very happy. I recently shot some drone, or I had a following drone shoot some video. Anyway, I'm really happy with the video because that's just a trail that as plain as it is, has just been very important to me for many years. Anyway, that was more than enough from me. Thanks, as always, for doing the net, and good evening, everyone. KD6LLB, I'll be listening.
So, Logan, you did great. And I love the videos. Oh, my God, he's actually sent me some clips of him riding his bike, and then he added music to it. So I'm like, okay, this is too cool. We may have to do something on that. We'll work something in. I mean, I think we're clear. The airspace is clear. We can maybe do some drone stuff. It's outdoors, so I guess you can fly them indoors too. Boy, they sure were using them last night overhead when we had some barricaded subject up in the heights of Camarillo, and the helicopter too. That guy must have been getting dizzy. He went around so many times. Hey, it has nothing to do with kind of does, but not so much. Thank you, Logan. That's great. No, I love it. That's some good information. And, I always come up with something to ask everyone pretty much. By the time we get through, I forget unless I got to start taking more notes. This is W6CGX for the Sunday night Great Outdoor Net. Thank you, Logan. Let's say hello to Bob. GEU, I gotcha. KJ6 type. Go ahead, Bob.
Hey, Bob, and everyone on the net. It's Bob. KJ6GEU, mobile now, back on Papa 1, on the 118 heading home. So, yeah, trail maintenance, never have done any actual official trail maintenance, but when we hike, I try to pick up trash along the trail, and if anything's obviously dangerous and I can fix it, I'll do that. But that's about the extent of it. But I'll tell you, we do hike a lot, and definitely are thankful to the people who do the trail maintenance, specifically signage and clearing any poison oak that might be encroaching on the trail. I've been lucky so far. I've never actually had it in all the years I've been hiking, but never actually gotten a rash from it, but gotten real close a few times. And as far as, signage, sometimes the trails are not very well marked, and we do use the All Trails app frequently. If you're on an unfamiliar trail and you're not exactly sure how to get back and the signs aren't very good, that All Trails app is very helpful, although it really kills your phone battery. It's not a bad idea to have a charger with you. But I guess that's about it. I guess I'll send it back to net. 73s to everyone. Kilo Juliet 6 Golf Echo Uniform. Catch you later.
Always great, Bob. You get the bell. It's a small bell tonight. I guess it's loud enough. Yep, you said pick up trash. I was waiting for someone to say that. I was trying to kind of lead people onto that by saying, well, have you ever done any trail maintenance? Well, that qualifies. And, there's so many people that will walk right past a piece of trash. Now, I get it if it's a piece of tissue. It's kind of behind a bush somewhere. It's like, okay, well, it is biodegradable. But, just wrappers. You constantly see that. Someone just throws their granola bar wrapper down on the trail and keeps on walking. Maybe it's a kid, but still, they shouldn't be doing that. So, yeah, if we can pick up stuff like that, throw it in a little. I used to carry a little Ziploc baggie, because that folds up, and then if you need it, you unfurl, and you open it, and put your findings in there, and that way you doesn't get any weird stuff in your hiking shorts. All right, thank you, Bob, and let's say hello to Hal. What the heck, Hal? N6 HAL, and good evening, Chief.
November 6th, Hotel Alpha Lima. Thanks, Bob. Thanks for holding the net. I don't have many trail stories in my repertoire or trail maintenance stories, so I think I'll let the experts on hiking and trails carry the conversation tonight, and I'll just sit back and listen. I did have kind of a happy, sad weekend. I had to go to a memorial of life for a former mother-in-law. Still friends with her, and I did get to see a whole lot of old family members from my first marriage, and my former mother-in-law lived till 99 years old, so it wasn't too sad of an affair. And back to the net, November 6th, Hotel Alpha Lima.
Well, I'm definitely sorry for your loss, and I look at things that way too. It's a celebration of life. You're going to, of course, miss the individual and the person that's been a part of your life and family. And as my dad did, he lived till 96. Little Italian guy, had full of life. He had a few surgeries, some heart surgeries, and maybe that increased his lifespan. But yeah, that's it's a true celebration of life to make it to 99. Oh my gosh, that's great. I think it's great. I don't know if I want to make it to 99, but I'll work on getting at least 3/4 of the way there. Thank you, Hal. And a lot of the trail crews I see down here in Camarillo, or some of the inmates, they're out clearing trails and do a lot of trail maintenance here in the Santa Monica Mountains. I'll see them every once in a while. In fact, one time I came up hiking, and there was all this stuff sitting in this, like, one of the camps, trail camps, and I'm like, what is all this stuff? But it had like a note on it, said, this is for trail crew, and it was water and just all kinds of, provisions that someone must have dropped off for them or something like that. All right, Hal, thank you so much, and have a great week ahead. We're getting everything started here on Sunday night. And let's say hello to Bill, KO6 Lima Romeo Alpha. Welcome, Bill, to the Great Outdoors.
This is Bill, KO6 Lima Romeo Alpha. Am I coming through?
Indeed, you are.
All right. Well, it's good to be on. Thanks for doing the net tonight. Haven't done a lot of trail maintenance. Done a bit of the pickup and all of that stuff. Don't want to leave those foils, those reflective foils out there in Southern California in the heat of the summer. So I've been picking that stuff up. But I just, when I think of trail crews, I think of this trail crew that I ran into when I was doing the High Sierra Trail in Sequoia. And I came across this group, and just a group of studs. I mean, men and women, both studs. And they had full packs. They were carrying chainsaws over their shoulders. one guy had a whole cooler. I mean, like a big cooler on his shoulder, and the greatest kids, nice people, and they even offered to share their beer with us when we came by. But I only had my regular pack, heading up the High Sierra Trail, and I didn't want to walk back the couple of miles where they were making camp. But the nicest folks, and doing God's work out there in the High Sierras for sure. I just always think when I'm in the High Sierras, you were talking about the steps and stuff. I always think that you can always tell like the era that steps were put in the High Sierras, because they're really not ergonomic at all. They're like 1.5 foot, 2 foot big granite steps, and those are hard on my knees in my mid-50s with a full pack and going down worse. But yeah, great paths, and just the crews that make it us able to do all that, and so I'm very thankful for that. So great to be here. This is Bill, KO6 LRA, and back to net control.
Well, great to have you aboard, Bill. And yeah, you made some good points there. And I guess the purpose of having taller steps, you don't have to have as many steps. It cuts down on how many you got to cut into the stone. But yeah, you come across some stuff that's really amazing, truly. Like Adrian was saying too, with wood and different things and concrete, or just, I don't know, not so much concrete. They try to keep it as natural. But some of these little walls are just the way they put a bunch of stones together. Just they come out really neat. So yeah, it's something to observe. And then, like I said, I'm just making tonight's net dedicated and thanking all the trail volunteers, which we can all do if we hike, right? We're definitely thankful that they take care of the trails. It's just like, they don't quite take care of the roads around here as much. Boy, there's some potholes after all those rains we had, but that's part of the thing too, I guess. All right. Well, thank you, Bill. And let's see. I guess we have an Ellen, K6DV is an IO, and Steve, WA6FGW. This is Bob, W6CJX. I might have missed a couple, so I apologize. So you're next.
Hey, Bob, can we switch back?
Is that a trail joke?
No,
Yes.
I just thought of something.
No, I didn't mean it was a trail joke. I just meant it's like one of those, no pun intended, a switchback. Yes, you can switch back. I'll erase your IO. And in fact, you can go now. Go ahead, Steve. Welcome.
Very good, Bob. And good evening to the net. This is WA6 Foxtrot Golf Whiskey. And talking about trails and various sundry things, I've been, lightly involved with, the Boy Scouts and a couple of things, but there's one in particular that is somewhat indicative of what we're talking about, I believe. Our backpacking group had gotten to know turned out to be one of the hams that maintained the 220 repeater out on Santa Cruz Island, at least at the time he did. And he invited us and our entire group to come out as a work party. And the work party was this, on the Santa Cruz Island, on the Conservancy side, not on the open to the public, but on the Conservancy side. They always have, I guess, some projects, and one of them happened to be trying to abate some non-native plant life that was growing wild and crazy near the ranch house and the chapel and that sort of stuff. So we did that for 4 days, and at the end they took us on a jeep tour of the island, and it was quite interesting. And we replaced, I don't know if we actually replaced the repeater at that time or added some filtering, but it was a quick drive to almost to the top, and then hike the last bit with the hardware in tow, throw it on, make sure it functioned correctly, and then head down the hill like we always do with normal repeaters. So, that was it. And then of course they got us back to where the boat picked us up. And that was anyway, I forget what I was going to say. The plant in question, if you ever get over to the Conservancy side, is the periwinkle plant. They were trying their best to rid that of around the central area where the chapel and I guess one of the ranch houses had been, from 100+ years ago. So that was all interesting for 4 days. We were down on our hands and knees with shovels and different sundry things, collecting these, put them in tarps, take them back to the main area, and I don't know what they did with them from there. But so that was kind of fun. And speaking of the size of steps, I concur that sometimes you get into some big ones. And what reminded me was Mount Whitney. Some of those steps there were something else. Certainly for my short legs, that was not appropriate. And what else? And just in general, remember traveling some of the trails in the Sierras, and when you transition from like the John Muir Trail to Yosemite type trails, depends on who is technically in charge on there. You can tell the difference in how well maintained the trails are for the national parks, but not so well maintained for some of the other ones. Anyway, that's all I've got, and thanks for doing that, WA6FGW.
Well, thank you, Steve. Well, thank you, Steve. We watched, and I was thinking of you, or we were thinking of you. We were just perusing YouTube one night just for something to watch, and we just happened to come across our venture to Mount Whitney, and so we clicked on it, and the footage is beautiful. They went up and they went through all the same places that you've told us about, but it was literally the step by step going all the way up to Whitney. But they went up to that other camp that's up there by there's a lake, and they camped there, and it's all exposed though. There's no trees and things. And then they went from there the next morning pretty early, maybe 5 or something, and got up with their headlamps. It kind of looked like a mini Everest with all these people coming up from the valley floor area, the portal area down
trail
there.
Camp.
Trail camp, yep, you're absolutely right. Trail camp. See, I should get all my facts straight, but it was great, and we just got to see it. I'm never going to see it. I can safely say I'm never going to see that, and I love the fact that a lot of people have, and people that I know have. So it just let us know what it really looked like, and it was really interesting. A couple, crazy snow crossings and things, but nothing that they couldn't handle, and they made it up and made it back down, I guess, all the way. And, because they ended up at some place at the Whitney portal having a huge hamburger, and they were ready for it too. W6EJX for the Papa System, Great Outdoor Net. All right, let's see. Thank you, Steve. Let's see if who else we have out there tonight like to check in with us. We're taking all applications at this point. Please come now.
WDG.
N6ZAR, Scott.
Alpha Bravo 6, Mike Bravo, Jeff.
Kilo 6, Papa Foxtrot, November.
Kilo 6, Uniform, Sierra.
All right. Looks like we got a nice group there. Let's see, what did I have? Oh, no, everything's good. Let's start off with James Cowdog, K0WDG. What's going on, James? How's it going? You can always let us know where you're at, or you don't have to. Go ahead.
Hey, Bob and everybody. I'm in Buckeye right now. Nothing too fun this weekend. I've been working on, I really got my 3D printer dialed in, doing really well with a new to me filament that I've been trying out called PCTG. It's apparently a lot more resilient than PETG. Anyway, I'm printing parts for a 12-volt powered gold dredge to suck the gold out of the creeks, because gold's just too expensive right now to sit at home on the couch and not get out and try and find some. Anyway, so the trail crew stuff, I'm going to keep it as clean as I can. I'll keep it really clean, actually. One of my first experiences with trail work was in college, and I took a class, and it was all about building trails. It was like a Forest Service approved class, all this stuff, and I ended up moving to Yosemite, and one of the first real things I ever saw with the trail crew was when they had to go, a mule had gone off the trail, and it didn't go off the trail, it fell on a switchback from one part of the trail to another, and they had to go take care of the mule. And that was probably one of the craziest things I've ever seen a trail crew have to do. And I won't go into a ton of details, but it involved about 35 pounds of dynamite. And it was very humbling to see and hear. But it's just it's kind of one of the risks you got to take when you're in the backcountry. And when you have livestock, you can't always get out all in one piece. It's never guaranteed. But anyhow, other than that, I've done a lot of other trail work and local stuff, and in the backcountry in Santa Barbara, and stuff where people don't usually go because people don't want to. But we'd clean the trail up and kind of make it passable. We wouldn't make it opened up so it was like a highway, so it would draw people there. But same kind of deal. Anyhow, yeah. So I'm just gonna keep on with making this gold dredge and trying to get rich. Hi. Yeah, back to net, K0WDG.
Well, I saw a couple shiny things in that pan of yours, so I'm assuming you're getting something. I did a little bit of that myself when I lived up in, wait for it, Gold Country, Grass Valley, Nevada City. Well, it was, there's a lot of the Yuba River and the Bear River, and so there's a lot of great rivers, Truckee River, and you can go in there and do a lot of panning. So yeah, we talked to a little bit there on a message, maybe do something about gold panning sometime. That was kind of a fun thing. The other one I thought about too is like the treasure hunting with the, what are they called, those meter things. Believe me, I'll do my research before we come out with that one, but it sounds like it'd be fun. Well, have fun with it. Sounds like you're doing wonderful. That's so great. I am pursuing the reservations. I haven't made any yet. I can't, but I am got myself in there in the queue, and I'm looking and seeing as they become available. And so I think we're into like July right now, being available. So pretty soon, August, will open up, and I'll try for the second week. And if I can't get that, I'll get the third week. So we'll get what we get, but we'll have fun. All right. Thank you, James. And if you see Justin, say hey. And let's see what we got next. Scott, N6ZAR. Welcome, Scott.
Good evening, Bob, and good evening, everyone on the net. Firstly, sorry about the Broncos game. I did, however, enjoy the outfit. That was pretty cool. As far as trails go, or trail crews, I've never been personally involved, but this weekend on Saturday I was at the Irvine Regional Park, and I saw a group of volunteers on the horse and hiking trails. And I remember thinking to myself, that's a really cool thing to do in your spare time, cleaning up those trails. But anyway, thanks for doing the net. Been an interesting topic tonight, and I hope everyone has a good week coming up. N6ZAR, back to you, Bob.
Well, I'll tell you, I got some pretty strange looks. Well, not strange looks, actually, a lot of happy looks with my hat that I had. I don't think there was one kid that had a Broncos hat that he was a little kid, and it was a really big hat, and it looks like it was made that way just so that a little kid could wear it. So anyway, it looked kind of funny, but yeah, I think mine stood out the most. But we tried. Yeah, it was fun. We still had good family time. That's what the main thing, our daughter and son-in-law and Carolyn, so we were all there together and, just having some fun. Would have been better if they won, but oh well. So, yeah, that's, that's another great thing too. People have to go out and shovel what sometimes, but if they're horse lovers, let's say, and they want to clean up the trails for the people with the horses, can't really pick that stuff. Yeah, who does that? No, I mean, it's like when you're riding a horse, it's not like you're walking a dog. You have to go and pick it up. So it obviously sits there. So who comes back and cleans that up? There you go. Inquiring minds want to know. Thank you, Scott. And always, and thanks for all the likes on Facebook. I have a friend. I'd like it. Let's talk to Jeff. AB6AB. No, how about AB6MB? There's a few of those around floating. And speaking of friend, I've got a friend in San Francisco, and I didn't leave my heart there yet. Go ahead, Jeff.
Thank you very much, Bob. You definitely have a friend here. I've actually I've done a lot of hiking around Mount Rainier on the Boy Scouts, and Boy Scouts pretty much all, and then another friend, and I never gave much thought to the trails, to be honest. I just hiked them, but hearing about the trail angels and the crews that keep maintaining them makes me have a bigger appreciation for those people, which I just never thought about. And I'm glad you brought it up because they add a lot of value, with all the work they do. And I never ran across them the whole time, but I just accepted the fact that the trails were there by magic, and obviously they're not. And some volunteers put a heck of a lot of work on those trails to keep them in good shape, and I definitely appreciate their work, but I never thought about them until you brought this up. So thanks for doing that, and go Trail Angels and the crews and that. Back to you, EB6MB.
Yep. And you said the other magic word, which was Trail Angel. Yeah, we kind of touched on that. God, I don't know how many years ago. We're going on almost 5 years with the Outdoor Net. But I don't remember what we discussed. But the Trail Angels, for those that don't know what Trail Angels truly are, especially along your Pacific Crest Trail and your Appalachian Trail, these are people that come in from different towns that live close by, and they bring in basically gallons of water, sometimes maybe some small jars of peanut butter, just little things that might help out the through hikers that are coming through. So that might be another nice topic one night. We could learn a little bit about through hiking, and I don't know that we've all done that, but I'd sure like to. Even if you want to do it, that's half the battle right there. So, all right. Well, thank you, Jeff. As always, yeah, appreciate it. It's you never know. I thought tonight, okay, this is gonna be a real dud. Who wants to talk about trail maintenance? But if we learn something each week on the Outdoor Net, that makes me feel good. I do. So at least I feel like I learned something. All right, Jeff, take care. And let's say hello to John, K6PFN, who's got a lot of time spent with the Boy Scouts. So let's see what John has for us tonight. Welcome, John.
Good evening, Bob and Nanette. What a great topic. And that's just like James is mentioning a college course to talk about trail maintenance. Like, this is stuff I know, and then tons of stuff I didn't know. So this is really opening up interesting things for me. One other Scout thing to add is that Scouting has this thing called the Historic Trails Award, and basically your Scouts can kind of find a historic trail and like do a research project of like who used it and do like a bit of a trail maintenance on it, and then they get a nice patch. I wasn't involved, but some of my Troop 50 friends did it this fall around the Malibu Creek State Park area. And I think it was some sort of a Chumash trail and maybe later a hunting trail. But just kind of a cool thing where they do some trail maintenance and they look at the history of it behind it, and then they get recognized. So it's called the Historic Trails Patch. Anyway, great topic. Thank you, Bob. Back to you. This is John, K6PFN.
Oh, that's definitely worth noting. I put that on my my notes here too. Yeah, Historic Trail Patch. Not just doing the work, it gives them a little feel like, well, I've been working on this trail and it's been here since 1812 or something. And you got to figure, these trails didn't just appear. I mean, you might come across some game trails when you're hiking, and they go, oh, there's a little trail going up there. Well, it's just deer and bunny rabbits and everything else going across there, making their way to get some water. But definitely, trails didn't just appear. And I might want to add my favorite trail. And this was a bucket list before I heard the word bucket list. But it's still a bucket list item. I saw, and I mentioned this one other time, I used to get Backpacker magazine religiously. And I saw this ad for Eagle Creek Trail, which is right out of Troutdale and Portland. And so you go up the Eagle Creek Trail, and then about halfway, I think, before you get to Wadham Lake, there's a place called Tunnel Falls. And and it's beautiful anyway. It's all ferns, it's waterfalls everywhere. It's just what you would expect to look like in the Northwest. But then you get to Tunnel Falls, and Tunnel Falls is actually where you can go behind the waterfall on the trail and look out in the middle of it and actually see. It's like something you'd see at Disneyland, seriously, or Knott's Berry Farm, where you're behind the water. But now this isn't a natural trail because it was actually done by the Conservation Corps back in 19 whatever. So they had to blast their way through this rock, but they made it into this really cool trail. And of course, you've got little ferns growing everywhere, and it's dripping on the inside. And oh my gosh, my daughter and I just lost it. It was so cool. That's my favorite trail. Well, I got that off my chest. Let's say hello to Aaron. He's probably going, Dad, man, my turn. What's going on? All right, Aaron. K6 US, it's all yours. Welcome to the great outdoors.
Good evening, Bob, and everybody else on the net. K6 US up here in Fresno, and I've never been on a trail crew, and you just mentioned one of your favorite trails, so I'll mention one of mine, because it definitely took a lot of work to build this trail. It's the High Peaks Trail in Pinnacles, which used to be a national monument. It's the park's kind of existed for a long time, but they recently made it a national park, and they are making improvements carved into these talisman caves, and these are caves that it's not the traditional type of cave. It's basically a ravine that a bunch of big rocks fell into, and it made this cave-like atmosphere, but it wasn't hollowed out by water. And they've built this staircase into the side of the cave that you can hike up to, and then you get up to a reservoir, and then if you keep going, there are tunnels that they dug out of the rocks, and then there's a couple spots where they literally just put footholes in the rock, and you got to kind of scramble up this thing. It's a very, very interesting place. Good place to take a handheld. Also a good place to take a camera if you want to get pictures of condors. Just don't go during the summer. It's relatively lower elevation and very hot. But if you think you've been to every national park in California, you might be missing one of the newest ones, and that's Pinnacles over there on the coastal range. It's pretty much due west of Fresno, over there in the coastal range. It's kind of a pain for us to get to. There's no direct route over there that's any decentness of a road, but it is possible. So there you go. Go check out the High Peaks Trail in Pinnacles. K6US.
I will be Googling. We have a cousin. It's my wife's blood cousin, my cousin by marriage, and he's gone there many times and said how amazing that is. He loves to hike, play tennis, all that good stuff, all that healthy stuff. And he's, he goes there and camps and told us about it a few times. So yeah, they'll have to check that out. I've seen pictures, and I'll have to look into it a little bit more. I think I saw a turnoff when I was going up to Monterey to work, and I think it said something like Pinnacles. Maybe then it was a state park or something. But well, thank you, Aaron. See, I asked you to come on the net. I didn't know you were going to come on every net, but I am really happy you are. And maybe you'll hear me Tuesday night because I'll be there too. But yeah, I'm so glad you are. So you get to enjoy some of the analog stuff now. That's the cool thing. Let's see. W6CJX for the Papa System, Great Outdoor Net. Let's, in my auto stations, I think I am. I might have missed some. If I apologize if I did. And let's take a few more. I'm going to probably, make this a last call. We went kind of long last week. Nothing wrong with that. Believe me, I don't want to shut things down, but it's just like, wow. It was a long one, and it was fun, though. So we had a good time with that one. So anyone else that'd like to check in, please come now.
Comment, KO6 LRA.
Whiskey 2 Alpha Yankee Zulu, this is Victor.
WA6JFK.
KN6 WIW.
Alrighty. Let's see, here we go. Everybody's can hear I'm making it through the system here. Okay, I got a comment from, I'll find you here, Bill.
Thank you, Bob. I forgot to mention when I spoke earlier, someone mentioned All Trails and different programs that they use. One that I've used for years, and it was only on the PC for a while, but they, in the last year or two, have an app as well for phones, but it's CalTopo, and that is a fantastic program. If you get a chance to do that, it doesn't burn your battery. You can download everything offline. You can build your own maps, put in your own stuff, all of it. It's just a great program. So I just wanted to mention that. So back to Net Control. This is KO6LRA.
All right, Bill. Yeah, there's some good programs out there. You don't have to burn. Well, you want to go into like airplane mode or something anyway. But there's so many nice little battery packs. There's the kind that magnetically, go on the back of your phone. It's good to have that, and then maybe a separate charger that uses a cable or something. But yeah, you should be able these days to afford and space to put things because they're not that big or that heavy. All right, thanks, Bill. That's a good contribution. I wrote that down, CalTopo. Let's say hello to Whiskey 2, Sierra Juliet Tango is what I've got. I don't know for sure if that's someone or what. Well, at first I thought it was Victor, and then Victor checked in. Anyway, so let's go with Victor. Whiskey 2, AYZ. What's going on, Victor? Welcome. And we're talking trail cruise, trailer maintenance, yeah, all that.
Hey, good evening, Bob. Good to hear you on the Sunday night, because last Sunday night we were in Death Valley camping, so wasn't able to getting anywhere. But good to be back, and yeah, we enjoyed the trip to Death Valley and hiking as well. But one of the things we always ask scouts to do is that to leave no trace so that they don't damage anything or to make it for the future people to walk by and no trash and keep everything the same as it should be, or even better if they can. So we were hiking a few trails in Death Valley, including the Golden Canyon and the Mosaic Valley. So very natural, still well maintained. I know that it's really up to the people, the hikers, to keep everything in order. Remember, in one of the Mosaic Valley trail, people put the stones on the trailhead, pointing the right way to go, and put the X on the side that you should not be going. So that's how the hikers leave marks around to guide the future people to go the right routes. So it's great to have some other hikers be considerate and help maintain the trail as great as they are. So thank you for running the Great Outdoor Net. Back to Bob, W2AYZ.
Yeah, exactly. We all kind of pitch in, and like I said, you see a wrapper, just grab it. I usually just stuffed it in my pocket, but sometimes if I could remember, I brought a plastic bag or had my famous trail sandwich, which was a great whole wheat bread of some kind, whole wheat, whole grain with peanut butter, extra chunky, and honey sandwich. That's my trail sandwich, and it is good. Doesn't spoil, doesn't need to be refrigerator, and it tastes great with that first cup of coffee on your way to the trailhead. All right, sounds like a commercial there. Okay, thank you, Victor. I'm glad you guys got to go, and it wasn't 145 in Death Valley. This is the time to go there, so for sure. All right. Thank you so much as being a regular and contributing to everything on the net tonight. Let's say hello to Brian, WA6JFK. What's going on, Mr. Brian? And welcome to the Great Outdoor Net.
Yeah, you hear me okay?
Yeah. You have a little buzz. Then again, so do I. No, yeah, you're fine. You're fine, Brian.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to talk about, I do some mountain biking, not a lot, but I do, and I belong to a group called Corba, California Concerned Off-Road Bicycle Association, I think, and they do maintenance on the trails that people hike on, but they do it for if things are getting funky or things are sliding off the hill. And I've seen these guys going up the hill. I've been around them, and they take a shovel or something and different things, and they'll go up and fix trails and things it helps everybody, but I guess that they mostly do it for bikes, I guess, but because people trash the trails and go off where they're not supposed to and all kinds of stuff. But that was a group that I do support them. I'm probably not the major user, but I figure these guys are doing good work and keeping things nice and running right and trying to get the water to go the right way and everything like that. So anyway, just wanted to put that one in there, and thanks for doing the net. WA6JFK.
Well, you got to figure too that with mountain biking, you're going a lot faster than people hiking, and things come up faster. So if you've got some kind of a weird drop off that happened because there was a erosion or just part of the trail decided to collapse somewhere, if you're walking, you can kind of see it and go, okay. Or if you're really good at mountain biking, you could probably jump over it. But anyway, like you said, it's kind of an important thing to keep the trails for everybody, really. That's for sure. Thanks, Brian. Good to hear you tonight. Thank you for coming in. And let's see, we've got, I think it's Whiskey 6, Whiskey Alpha Whiskey. I don't know. If it's not, please correct me and give us your name and anything you have for the net tonight, and welcome. Okay, who we got screening the phone calls tonight? Anybody? I think they must have went on break or something. Okay, well, let's say, if I can do it, I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and close the net. Only because I kind of need to, but we got another full page going here, folks. This is good. It was a full page last week, but we did it in less time. So you know what that means? I didn't talk as much. Ha ha. No, I don't know. So with that, I want to say thank you to all the people that checked in tonight, all the people that listened tonight that didn't check in, but we know you're out there somewhere. And we do appreciate everyone. Of course, the Papa System. Thanks, Cecil, for his legendary leadership. And the whole A-team. And, of course, everyone that helps and volunteers for everything we need. And we can use volunteers for the Yuma Ham Fest. So if you're looking to help out for just a couple hours, we'll just switch people around. Say, hey, go guard that door for a couple hours. And then, maybe Cecil will give you a free sticker or something. And all the net controllers, of course. We appreciate that. It's so great to have a net every night. And to me, I love having nets. I think nets are great. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and close the net at 21:16 and say 7-3 to everybody. Have a great week ahead because we started here in the great outdoors. Dramatic fade.